This podcast is sponsored by the Nerdball Network. Three Different Dads is now part of the Nerdball Network, along with the Nerdball Podcast. This week, my guests on Monday was Scott Bucher. We talked a lot about Disney, and we talked a lot about like 25 minutes of that, maybe, and some Packer talk, some teacher talk, and employees and that kind of stuff. How we manage employees. And tomorrow, check out the episode is with Cindy Doddelin. She is the co-owner of Fort Meigs CrossFit, where I now have my Nerdball podcast studios. So please check that out tomorrow. We talked obviously about her gym, what got her into CrossFit, the different coaches there, her process, what she's nerding out about lately, which seems to be a lot of little things, a lot about little things. So check those out too. But for now, enjoy the podcast. Three Different Dads. On this episode, we talked this. We were kind of all over. We talked about Michigan football. We talked about the playoffs. We went old school, and I brought an article, and we talked about that. And Jim brought a new segment to put in our home improvement segment, which may change the face of the podcast. It is a brilliant segment, something we may use as long as he keeps doing the work on it. So. Enjoy this episode of Three Different Dads. If there's nothing, that's a safe thing. In a house on fire, could you stay a while? Hello, everyone, to another beautiful episode of Three Different Dads. I'm your host, Lorenzo. Another host.
Wait, why
is Jimmy.
Are you the host?
Can I finish talking?
You never talked about.
I just said I am the host, Lorenzo, and then I was interrupted as I was saying another host is Jimmy, and then I would say, and our last host is Tyler. Okay, when I have to come up with openings for this thing, I've tried to change it up a little bit, and you guys just stepped all over it.
Could have said co-host. I feel like would have been a better title to give yourself at the beginning.
Hey, you know what? Next time, you guys can open the episode. Okay, one of you can.
So, I don't control the meeting.
Well, if you guys want to like shit all over me, then one of you guys can open it. Feel free whenever.
Okay, noted.
Let's just cut that. 3, 2, 1.
No, it is staying in. We're here. We're ready to go, guys. How you doing?
Doing well.
Yeah?
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you for that wonderful introduction.
Yeah, good. Before
happy Friday. January 6th.
Well, here's another thing. So I was thinking Friday is a long time after we record, and I was trying to figure out like, hey, what can we talk? We can talk about stuff, but like I'm assuming like I want to talk about football, but then it's like almost a whole week after that happened. So I'm gonna try to put them out Wednesdays because I think with this video. Is Jimmy frozen?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
But we can
hear.
We can also hear this.
With this video on Zoom, it's a little easier to edit. So I'm going to try to put them out Wednesdays. So.
All right. Happy Wednesday, January 4th, everyone.
There we go. It's not like the 2 followers on Facebook will really notice anyway. So.
Dude, hey. We're early in the game. Okay.
Yeah.
I gave it a follow today, I think.
You don't even know.
Pretty sure I did.
Okay. All right.
We're getting there.
All right. Anyway, so I do want to talk about football because Tyler being the resident Michigan fan, I could not care less about the games. I'm just glad they were both really good games.
They were great games. Yeah.
Tyler, how do you feel in general? Like
defeated.
Yeah.
Defeated.
Did you watch it by yourself?
No. So I was having Christmas 17.0, what felt like a lot of Christmases. But so my brother, Kyle, could not come up last weekend because of the weather. Like they live in Covington. They got to about they hadn't even made it yet to what is it, Dayton?
Okay.
That would normally take 45 minutes for anyone traveling north on 75. It was like 2.5 hours, and they still weren't to Dayton yet. And they're just like, what do we do?
Oh, really?
Yeah, that bad. So they at the time, my brother called my mom, and my mom heard that, and she's like, just turn around, just go back home. Like, the roads are obviously too bad. So anyway, they made it up this last weekend. Coincidentally, the same day that Michigan was playing. So I think it was about 15 or 20 minutes before the game, and I was like, hey, mom, dad, we're gonna have the game on, right? Like, and they're just like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And I said, what channels it? I was like, it's on ESPN, right? I was like, do you guys get it at ESPN? No. So I had to scramble. I signed up for a 7-day free trial of like Fubo TV, just literally just to get the game. So I did that. Luckily, I did it literally figured that out like 20 minutes in advance. So I didn't miss anything. But anyway, there was a lot of family around. Most of them were Ohio State fans. So they were like kind of being supportive, but I don't know. I struggle with that with myself. Like I can't sit and watch an Ohio State game and be like, oh yeah, like, yeah, go Buck. No, no. Maybe that's just me, but I can't do it.
Jim, did you watch both games?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't go ahead.
I just my wife is SEC through and through, and it drives me nuts. And the Big Ten completely shit the bed there. And so, as a steward for the conference,
Ohio State outplayed. They really did. And
oh yeah,
I think if Marvin Harrison Jr. didn't go out, they would have won that game because they could not stop that dude. And then they knocked him out of the game. And all I know is when I went to bed, I think it was like 38-20, 38-14, or
You didn't even
20,
you didn't stay
24.
up to watch it?
No,
I was New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
Dude, okay, so we can talk about that too. New Year's Eve is the most overrated holiday there is. It's stupid, dude. It is so dumb. New Year, new me bullshit. No,
you weren't saying that when you're 22 and BG. You're like, yes, let's party.
I don't even know if I just feel like I've never been in it. No, I will stand on this. I will stand on this hill by myself. Oh man, I don't know. I'm not a fan.
Like, all right,
dude. I just,
ladies, who's next? Let's go.
I feel like I value sleep more now too. Like,
okay, suck. Let's go to 4-1 or 419.
Yeah.
Was it 419 or 14? It was
149
because it made too much sense. Yeah, it made too much sense to call it 419. And then some idiots like, no, it's 149. And I'm like, this is the dumbest. It was the address, but it was the dumbest thing. That was the stupidest bar name. Yeah. Man, we're going off on some tangents here already, but.
And so you didn't stay up.
I didn't stay up for the second game, but I was honestly very surprised that Ohio State didn't win because I really did. I felt like they outplayed them. They really did. So. TCU is damn good though. Like I was very impressed, and they just clearly they don't bat an eye if they're going back and forth with teams, which I think they've lived that all season, and I think so they're just very comfortable playing like that. So game.
And speaking of football, Tyler, betting is now legal in Ohio. Have you made any bets? Oh no, you're not allowed to bet.
One bet. I placed one bet yesterday. No, I can bet.
Oh, I thought because you work for the MLB now.
Oh, no. That's baseball. And technically, I'm not an MLB employee until the 9th, which is next Monday. So I'll let you know if that changes. But as of now,
the numbers that we're going to get on this podcast for the...
I did the can't lose like a Hanks parlay if there's any Barstool followers. He does this parlay called a Hungry Dog parlay. The odds are just absolutely dog shit, but
like plus 40,000 or something.
It was like plus 725. So I think I put in like, $25 and I could have won. I think it was a lot of money. I mean, it was $400 or $500. So yeah, it was very favorable. The Browns were in that. Thank you, Browns. They delivered. But then the other part, Yes. The other part of the early games was, what was it? Oh, the Lions. Yeah, the Bears had to cover, or they were getting 3.5 points, and that was
Yeah.
part of it. They got smoked. Like
Yeah,
the Lions
yeah.
just beat the shit out of the Bears. So it was done early. At least I put me out of my misery. So yeah.
Jim, do you do
I mean,
any
it was only
sports betting?
$25 though. So
Oh. Jim, do you do any sports betting?
It's not legal in Texas.
Oh no,
no.
I thought
Great
everything
state of
is.
Texas. Not yet.
What's
Neither
crazy is like
is interracial marriage.
Oklahoma does not yet.
Okay.
It's a hot button.
Okay.
Hot button topic.
But like there's casinos in Oklahoma where like a lot of people from Dallas go to.
Yeah.
And then there like as soon as you cross into Oklahoma, 5 minutes, there's casinos. And then there's a lot of like Louisiana casinos like right on the border for Houston. So it's like if you're in Dallas or Houston, you're going either up to Oklahoma or over to Louisiana. And it's so stupid that we just miss out on that revenue.
I had a friend that before betting was legal in Ohio, he would just drive over the border to Michigan, so his phone was pinging in Michigan, and then he could place
Yep.
bets. So I mean, you guys do. It would be nice to have that revenue to fix your fucking electrical grid. That'd be nice. Is he frozen?
Easy.
He keeps freezing.
I have
I'm moving
some.
to my hotspot. I'll be here. Hold on.
Okay. I had some parlays tonight for the Bengals Bills game tonight, so we'll see how that goes.
Did you?
Yeah.
That's I honestly like that's what I will and will
Edit this
play
out,
is
motherfucker.
parlays. What did he say?
I don't know.
He said something about effer. I don't even know what he said. No, I think parlays are fun, dude. Because or also certain prop bets where they'll give you an insane amount of money, like a plus 225.
Yeah.
I did that. So my first experience with betting was 2 years ago at the U of M game when Michigan legalized it. I got up there to tailgate like well in advance of like their first home game, and I was like, "Oh yeah, we could sports bet now." So I popped it on, and they're like, "Oh, Blake Corum plus 225 to score the first TD." So that was sweet because I threw like 25, $35 on it, and I got the hundreds of dollars back. And yeah, it was fun. But I don't know.
So the winning that
Like-
first bet, you're like, oh, I just want to keep doing this.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
so easy to make money.
You guys hear me okay?
Yes,
Yep.
we can. You're just very chunky. Your picture. What's going on with you, man? Do you need help over at the old homestead there? What's up?
I'm farther away. Like I'm up in the apartment, so it's the Wi-Fi signal sometimes is.
Oh, you got to get a booster, dude.
We had one up here, and
It got
Yeah.
flooded. It got flooded out.
yeah, and so then we just didn't get another one, and it's worked fine before until right now. So I apologize to our
Listener, to George,
listener.
One listener.
to George,
Bucher, either.
Sorry, George.
or
If you're listening.
Bucher, yeah. I do want to go kind of kick it old school, and I found an article. Remember when we used to do articles?
Oh yeah,
We used to bring
Let's
an
bring it
article to the
back.
table and talk about that.
Run it
Hold
back.
on, are we at the new segment alert?
No, this is an old segment. This is kicking it old school alert.
Are we kicking? Hold on. Are we in the segment? Are we in the segment aspect of our podcast?
No, this is we're not
No,
there
this
yet.
is
This
this
is kicking it old
reliving
school.
the golden era of
Yeah.
of the
of
three
the
dads.
podcast. Yeah.
Yes.
So
Okay.
the
You might be
headline.
stepping on my new segment.
No, we'll get to the home improvement, and you just throw whatever you want at the wall there. So you gotta wait. You gotta wait for that segment, and then we'll get it. All right. So headline: Boy goes missing in woods after parents kick him out of car as punishment. Now this was 6 years ago, but it happened in Japan. But I just thought it was funny because it reminded me of a story from my childhood. So it's a 7-year-old boy. Basically, his parents kicked him out of the car because he was throwing rocks in a pond, and his parents didn't like it. So I guess he was throwing rocks at the river. So at some point, the parents basically decided in their car ride home that he needed to leave. So they kicked him out as punishment, and then um, when they called the authorities, they said, "Oh yeah, he wandered off when we were picking vegetables. We weren't able to find him." And then eventually they told him that they kicked him out of the car for being rude. Now,
I
the
have a
reason
question.
yes.
Do you think that decision to kick him out of the car was made in the car ride, or do you think they saw him throwing rocks and were like, "All right, like old Yeller style, and like hop in the car,
Drive him out to the middle of nowhere.
let's go drive for a while," and then it's like, "Hey, why don't you go check the tire pressure, and then just peel out."
Which one,
Uh,
Dad? The back right one. Just
Yeah,
get
farther,
Yep.
farther. Okay,
Hey, hold on 1 second. Look over there.
I, I'm gonna guess. It wasn't like at the time, like, all right, well, we're gonna get him later. I bet the boy was still acting up, and then finally the dad. I'm gonna guess the dad was like, all right, get out. And it was a spur of the moment punishment.
Yeah.
And then he drove off,
Dude,
and
you
they
gotta
said
have
he,
some balls. But you said
dude,
this brings back a memory.
dude,
So
yes,
please,
yes.
please go on with your memory because I want to hear how your parents abandoned you on the side of the highway.
It
Go
was not my parents; it was my grandparents,
ahead.
and
Okay.
it wasn't me. That was
All right,
we didn't get to
perfect.
the abandoned part. So it was me, my brother, my older brother, and my sister. There was just three of us at the time. My Martina wasn't born yet. We were in the back of my grandparents' car. We were driving. I think we were either driving home from their house or to the mall. I can't remember, but we were driving. My brother kept farting in the car, like just because he was an ass. Just kept farting and farting. And my grandpa told him, if you fart one more time, I'm going to pull the car over and you're going to get out. So my brother, farts, turns to me and my sister and says, quick, you guys, grandpa's going to pull the car over. Help me sniff it up. So
Oh
me
my god.
and I'm going to guess he's probably 9 or 10. So that would make me, 5 or 6. And my sister is right behind me. So we start trying to sniff his fart up because we're little kids and we're afraid of our brother. Then my grandpa smells it to no avail. To no avail. Guess what? It did not work. My grandpa smells it, pulls the car over, opens the door, and it's a 2-door car. So he opens the door, pulls his seat forward, and is yelling at my brother to get out. And everyone's crying in the back seat, like, no, no, don't get out, don't let him get out. My grandma's yelling at my grandpa, and then finally, like, he just gets back in and it drives off. It was terrifying.
Dude, that's yeah. Wow.
But yeah, he did not leave him. But
That's good.
but he,
I didn't think he did. I thought there was something to the story, but oh my god, that's funny.
it
would have been a power move if he left, circle around, and then pick him up again.
yeah, and actually fart in his face before he lets him in the car.
Yeah, come in.
Dude, it was pretty insane. Enough that 30 years later, I still think about
You
it.
still remember it, yeah.
More than 30 years. Oh my gosh.
So what was everybody's I know Tyler did jack shit, but Lorenzo, what was your New Year's like?
Is this the new segment?
It was
this
good.
The new
No,
segment?
No. It was good.
Okay.
Dude, you'll
It's-
know. Showstopper.
Yeah. So
Okay.
it was good. So I spent all day at my in-laws watching football. Watched Michigan lose the first game. Watched most of Ohio
Why you
State
gotta say it like that?
game because they did most of the Ohio State game
Fair.
at my in-laws. I fell asleep on the couch for a little bit. I woke up. We came back to watch the Ohio State game. This is the first year we let the kids stay up till midnight. So that was a new development for us. So we bought little poppers. I had to turn the TV before that field goal was kicked to the ball dropping because everybody wanted to see the ball dropping. So we saw people, we cheered, we popped our little poppers, turned it back, and saw that, oh, he must have missed the field goal. So I went on Twitter immediately, tried to see the video, and it wasn't even close, as everyone's well aware. But yeah, it was cool. The kids. I had other plans I had in mind before Andrea said, "Hey, we should let the kids. Do you want to stay up?" And they said, "Yeah." I'm like, "All right, well, I guess I'll just drink and be merry." Speaking of drinking, high noon. Who like I only
A sponsor?
No, but when we drink, whenever we
Hell
drink,
yeah.
whenever we drink, that's what we buy now, and it's only because of our trip to Austin.
Aren't they good?
They're very
They're
good.
they're I think they're refreshing.
Yeah, they're very
I'm
good.
not gonna lie though, I've been on a major like wine kick the last couple weeks. I'm a big wine fan.
So have
Yeah.
I.
Yeah,
Yes.
Like
That's like that
tequila,
was
like very just. I'm
Yeah.
classier than you motherfuckers. I'm drinking driest of dry
Oh.
reds.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Not to you guys. I'm just saying, like people around me.
Yeah.
I
No, I'm just saying
Yeah.
your taste in wine. That's. I mean, I don't like wine to begin with, but mine has to be. Give me the stuff that tastes like candy. Give me that wine. Yeah. Give me
makes
some.
my tum-tum upset.
Give me some Riesling. You know. Yeah, that's what I'm going for.
Makes you-
Yeah,
your stomach
I don't know.
upset, man.
Yeah, somebody
No, man, you got to take. You got to take. Andrew always has. I forget what it is now. It's always some. You guys.
Tums.
No, it's not Tums. It's something like that though. I forget what it is. But she takes it like before she starts drinking. That way it doesn't get her stomach upset. It's like
Yeah.
you just got to be prepared. You got to know what you're doing now. That's all. But anyway, have you guys left your or let your kids stay up to midnight yet? I know I have the older kids, but
No,
I
we
feel like I have can't really remember. I mean, I don't
we
know.
do
It's
like the YouTube. Like we watch like London's
yeah.
ball drop on YouTube, and that was the extent of it. So,
Saw the family picture of you guys.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So they're not going to Harvard or anything. They think it's been they're
Yeah.
like, okay, that's cool. Like it's New Year's, the time zone thing. It's like, yeah, I know it's because it's really only 11 o'clock for us here, but no, it
No.
was kind of like, hey, halftime of this, or I think it was after the like halftime of the Ohio State game. We're just kind
Yeah.
of like, okay, it's a good time to do New Year. So that
Whenever
was
that's
Jim.
genius planning, Jim.
Yeah.
Good
Jim,
job.
whenever you take family pictures, whenever I see them on when your wife posts them, you always look I mean everyone looks happy, but you look so incredibly happy all the time, like in your pictures. Not that
I've
you're
got a
not.
beautiful wife, two great kids.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Ty. And it's
What are we doing? What the fuck are we
I
doing
just
here?
follow.
God, you slid that
Backhanded
in.
dude, these
slid that
backhanded
in.
comments are always in there,
You
dude.
slid it in so fast.
No,
Oh,
no. Yeah, dude,
I'm
it
gonna get a
was
bottle of
fun.
wine and start drinking on the pod.
I was also
Do that.
I was also like a bottle deep in a cab at that point. That was the hard part for me. It was just like I got some nice wine that night,
Yeah.
had that, and but here's kind of like my trash ball move with the red wine is I'll get M&Ms and kind of snack on M&Ms with the
Okay.
wine. It's delicious.
I thought you were
And,
gonna, like I put them in the wine.
no, but it's
And
just like
swirl the chocolate with the wine. It's delightful.
yeah. So it's great, but no. So we did that. The problem like after, so then like the football game went through. Had a couple more glasses. I was feeling pretty good at that point, and then we bought like a little bottle of champagne
Mhm.
and popped that at midnight our time. My wife for some reason wanted to stay up midnight like our time.
Yeah, because that's New
Um,
Year's. That's what you do.
Yeah, but you celebrate. Like we had to flip over after the Ohio State game quickly because Dolly Parton was on with Miley, and that whole thing. So
Yeah.
we ended up just once New Year's hit, we went outside in the driveway for about 10 minutes, and it was a beautiful night, and just kind of had some champagne while the kids were asleep, and
Nice.
yeah, it was nice. You could
Yeah.
hear fireworks going off all over the place, but yeah.
We heard there was a TikTok video of Toledo and just all these gunshots going off at midnight. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah. I kind of think I heard some. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Little disturbing because my initial thought was maybe those are just fireworks, and I'm like, those sound way too like, not. Yeah, like they sound way too fast and non-sequential to be fireworks. So
Mhm.
yeah.
So I think it was probably like sophomore year of high school, maybe junior year of high school. We were at someone's house for New Year's. I won't say who, but they had like older siblings and like fringe friend group. And one of the people that were there was a lot older and they had a gun and they're like, "Oh, I'm going to
Oh
fire this off
my God.
at midnight." And I'm like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. Like, it was like 9 o'clock at that point, and it's like in high school, so you kind of skip around from multiple places, like crazy. I saw that it
Name them.
freaked me
Who was it?
fuck out.
Name them.
And
Who? Who was
I'll let you both guess. You can each have a guess, but
I can't even fathom.
yeah, no, I'm not. I'm just no
Fringe
reason.
group.
Or are you afraid? Are you
Fringe.
afraid he's gonna shoot you now? Is that
Oh
why?
no. He's super chill dude.
Yeah.
People that were there that night.
Fringe friend group.
So my initial thought, because it's the friend's brother is the one who had the gun, or just someone at the
Like,
party.
or like it was either the brother or like a family member. Like there was a large group of people there.
Okay.
Let me
Alright.
just take some notes here.
I-
That's the case. Fringe friend group, much older.
But I did hear from people afterwards like that. Yeah, after midnight, like shots are fired.
Gosh.
I did hear he shot someone at the party. I thought that's where that was going.
And also, like, you're in high school, you think you're hot shit, like you're drinking a little bit. Like the last thing I wanted to do is like mouth off to like the wrong. I don't know, 90% of the people at this gathering. Best for Jimbo just to get out of there and
Were
let's
you with
punt.
somebody? Were you with somebody?
Probably.
Yeah.
Name names. Who are you with?
Jesus Christ.
Dude, this was 20 years ago.
Why does it matter then? Let's just rat them out.
I don't know who I was with 20 years ago at that time.
Statute of limitations is only 7, Jim.
No.
Yeah,
All right.
that's real.
Let's fight.
So yeah.
Dude, what is
Uh
what do you think the best high school party that you were at? Do you know offhand? Maybe one that you got arrested.
Well, I'll
The one
tell
that
you, it was
sticks in my
not the
mind-
one that I got busted at. I mean, that one sucked.
the one that sticks in my mind was the Ohio State National Championship game at Trey's house.
Who'd they play?
Miami.
Remember?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And his parents, I think, went to Columbus for the game to watch with people, probably his uncle.
Yeah.
And it was just
A madhouse.
so many people in that house. And I remember Janet Lawless and Tyler Custer made out after like Tyler bet her, like, if Ohio State wins here, like, we're going to make it out. And she's like, yeah, okay. And that it actually happened. Like, it was just a bunch of fluke things that happened. It was just a crazy experience, that one.
Did you ever have a
After-
party at your house, Jim? Because I know like we would go there, maybe 5, 6, 7 dudes and hang out, but I don't remember if you ever had a party there.
No, I had a really good house for, like, if we wanted to get beer in, if we wanted to do, like, bring anything in. Like,
Yeah.
I was in the basement. There was the back door to the
Back
basement. was
door,
right there.
back door, basement, right down.
And if your
Yeah.
dad came down, you'd be like, "Hey, is that beer?" Like, I don't want to talk about it right now, Dad. We'll talk about it tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was no, I don't think I ever, dude, and like looking back on it, just yeah. Like we just play like it was a good house just to kind of like hang, play caps if you want to. Like
Play
no one's
pool.
gonna play
We-
pool. No one's really gonna
Yeah.
bother you.
we played a lot of NCAA basketball.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
That
I don't know, man. I remember your house for the party after high school.
After we graduated,
Yeah.
I had 2 pretty big parties that I can remember. One was my graduation party, which was just like a handful of dudes went out to eat at a place in White House, a bunch of my family and then a couple of dudes. And then by the time we were driving, I just told my dad some people are coming over, and it turned to a lot of people coming over. I remember that one, and I remember the caps tournament I had. We went through, and I think it's so funny. I remember exactly 27 cases of beer in about 4 or 5 hours. It was fun. I remember my dad coming home. My parents were out. My dad came home, and I knew I wasn't going to get in trouble, but he called me upstairs, and I'm like, oh shit. What's he gonna say? Is he gonna just? I mean, he would be cool, but he's probably gonna make people leave or whatever. But he was already out drinking too, so he comes home and just goes, Lorenzo, I'm like, what, Dad? He goes, just one question, where's the beer? And I was like, yeah, party on, Wayne, let's go. But that caps tournament was like the Thanksgiving break of freshman year in college, I believe. But that was fun too. But even our house, like my house, was the same. Like we would hang out in the basement, and we could drink down there.
Yeah, it was really like, okay, unless people's parents were out of town, then I feel like we'd get to or like do stuff aside from Holter's house. Like, but yeah, it was mostly just like who can you go to where the parents don't. It's just like, yeah, whatever. Just be
Yeah,
downstairs.
yeah, yeah.
So
There was several friends that had their first drinks ever in my basement, which I'm glad. I'm glad to be the home for
what
that.
was your first what was your first beer?
I remember my first beer.
I remember mine.
I'm gonna guess. Like, what kind do you mean?
No, like, do you
Where?
remember the situation or any of that?
I remember the first time I got drunk was one of the first times. I don't know if it was. I don't know. It was very memorable. I went down to Miami University with Trey, and I drank 240s, and I was pretty drunk then. It had to be in my basement. I remember. I think I remember we had beer, just regular light beer, and then we also had cream soda, and for whatever reason we mixed them together.
Oh,
Makes sense.
But
yeah.
I remember that. So I don't know if that was the first time, but I remember that too. One of those times. What about you, Tyler? Do you remember?
Gosh, the first time mine was probably honestly college because I was a late bloomer to drinking with friends, and
Mhm.
then I was also one of the first to get busted, as you guys has well known and has been documented several times. So yeah, so that kind of made me steer clear of alcohol for a little while. But then it was college, I think. Started drinking just in dorm parties and stuff like that for a little while. So
And even then,
that was
I feel like you're could be a nervous person too. Like you'd be worried about it. Like
mm,
especially because you got busted and then you said not in college. And like I'm surprised to hear that it was like in dorms and stuff. Because I feel like that's an easy place to get busted. Or
yeah, but I
easier.
feel like I guess starting wise, like I just remember playing a lot of caps, like with you
Yeah.
guys. So like a
Yeah.
lot of the times, it was just us playing caps in dorms.
Yeah, but
I know Jim was there.
you never played caps at Trey's?
I did, but again,
Was
it,
it
like there was a
high school?
very no, it was like a very fine kind of few weeks. It felt like or months. Like it was a very short amount of time between the time and I remember that Ohio State party. I was
Yeah.
at that Ohio State party. That was a fun party. I do remember drinking at that party.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was also very surprised that Ohio State won. But
And you also had to make out with Tyler Custer.
I did. Yeah.
R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Jim,
Oh
what about
God.
you?
My first beer was Red Dog.
Red
Day
Dog.
after my grandparents' like 25th wedding anniversary, maybe 30th wedding anniversary that they had at my house or at my parents' house. Um, but yeah, it was a day later. My uncle came to pick up the kegs of beer, and there was a keg of half drank Red Dog in our garage. And I was outside playing basketball, and he's like, Here, you want a cup? Yeah. And
How old were you?
I probably like seventh, eighth grade.
Okay.
And
He said, "Yeah."
yeah. So and then the first time like getting drunk, like going out, Jessica Coon's house, New Year's, freshman year, she like gave her parents sleeping pills,
What?
invited a bunch of people, and
You won't name the guy who had a gun, but
That's
you're
what
gonna
I
drop
was just
that?
thinking.
You're gonna
Thank
drop
you.
that?
Thank you. You're gonna name names on that type of story of drugging, but you're not gonna say who shot a gun in the air. Come on.
That's sweet. That's sweet.
but then here's the best part is like everybody thought it was such a weird mix because there was like a group of
Yeah,
us.
alcohol and pills. That is a weird mix. Anyway, so
There's a bunch of like freshman dudes. There was like her God, I can't think of the girls that were like maybe like Molly Matthews, like Christine, like there's some
Mhm.
girls there. And then there was like a bunch of like senior dudes at this place.
yeah.
And like we're all like we're drink like we brought a case of beer, like or someone bought us a case of beer, something like that. So we had a thing of natty there, and we are like, this is hot shit. Then like around 10:30, 11, her parents were like, everybody has to like they got like one of them was awake still, and they were like kicking people out. So she lived
Sleeping
or
pills hadn't kicked in yet.
she lives or lived over by like Fort Meg School. And I was like, this, we have no Uber. Like, you have a cell phone, kind of. My parents were out of town, but we had somebody like watching our house with
Yeah.
my sister. And we walked in the middle of the night from Fort Meigs School to Fort Meigs, essentially, to my house, opened the garage code because it was like down, like it was snowing outside, like it was like a foot of snow on the ground, and we're like, where the fuck are we supposed to go, like, whatever. And so yeah, we walked to my house, and then we like are in the garage. I'm like freaking out, like I don't know if our security system's on, like I don't, like, what are we gonna do? Go up to my dad's office, and there's like 8 of us laying in my dad's office. And then Pool Cardenas calls his dad at like 7 a.m. and is like, hey, can you pick us up from this house here? And then I had to make it look as if I was just arriving too, because like I had people at the house that were like, what the hell's going on? So it was just this whole thing. We drank way too much, and it was good. It's a fun story, but yeah. So
Damn. Yeah, now that I keep thinking about it, I'm pretty sure it was that the the double 40s. They're like, "Hey, we're going to the store. What do you want?" And I'm an experienced drinker, and I've heard people say 40s. I'm like, "Yeah, give me 2 40s." Okay, cool. Who's this dude? I remember sitting
dude,
on the
what's
ground.
crazy? Oh, sorry. Go
No,
ahead.
I remember sitting on the ground. I drank a whole one on just sitting there, and then I stood up. I'm like, "Oh, what's happening to me? I feel weird."
What's crazy is like in eighth grade, and I very much remember this. In eighth grade, I was like, I don't know why anyone would drink, like smoke, like whatever. Like I wasn't super religious, but was raised in like religious household, like not gonna do any of that stuff. I remember like freshman year, I'm like, I was just like, if I get invited to something cool, I'm going to it. And I don't give like I'm gonna drink and smoke. I don't care.
Peer
Because
pressure.
I had to like in my head, because they were just like, hey, if you could offer drug, like just say no, like
Yeah,
all this stuff,
yeah.
bullshit stuff. And in my head, I'm like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And then I'm like, I don't know. Some of that stuff sounds pretty cool. Like, let's give it a go. Let's at least let's try it. And you know what? No one ever came up to me and was like, "Hey, here's a bunch of drugs. Try it."
Mhm.
But
You must
you
have been
know,
going to the wrong parties then.
I guess
Do that to
so.
me all the time.
Uh, so
All right. Well, we are now, Jim, to the home improvement section where we just we've been working on different home projects, and now different home projects slash parentheses or exclamation, or what do I want to say? Quotations. This is where we just
Segments?
put in whatever the
Oh.
fuck we want. So this is where we're
Yeah,
at, Jim.
okay.
So you're texting us.
I have a new segment for everybody, and I told the guys it's either going to take like 3 minutes or 50 minutes. So it just depends on how great this segment becomes. So it's titled "Should I Care?"
Got it.
Okay, so just so that we're not playing favorites, I didn't go to Fox News or CNN. I went to Google News, and these are just some top stories of the day according to Google News. And as dads, does this move the needle at all for either one of you?
Okay.
And we can kind of rip off some stuff.
Do you just want like initial reaction, gut reaction, or do you want me to think about each answer a little?
Either one.
Okay.
Work in progress. We'll
right.
iron the kinks out.
Yeah.
And kind of go from there. So
when we ultimately return to the segment in 14 episodes, then we'll know. So let's hit it.
Yes.
All right, let's go.
So Google News top story: Idaho murdered suspect was identified through DNA using genealogy database, police say.
I totally care. This story was crazy.
Yeah, totally care. There's a this is a break off of your little thing. Cool story, I thought. So one of the guys I was tailgating with this year at my tailgate up in Michigan, my uncle invites some really interesting people, and they all like, well, this dude knew a lot about the genealogy stuff that you were just talking about. And he said there's a firm now that might have an offset of like the, 23andMe and all that stuff to let you know, like, when you're going to have cancer, if you're going to have cancer, shit like that. And I guess it was a very interesting topic, and I don't know. That just light bulb went off in my head, but it's like one of those, would you want to know if you're going to have cancer in 15 years?
Oh, 5,000%.
Yeah, I'd want to know any. Yeah,
give me any. Thor. He was doing that Disney show, and he found out that he was likely to, whatever it is, where you forget stuff. And
so
he was
follow-up
just like,
question:
what
if the cancer is like irreversible cancer? Like it's gonna be like
YOLO,
bad.
dude.
YOLO.
Okay. I mean, that kind of gives us like, hey, I have kind of a headache. I'm going to take it easy today. And fuck it. Like, let's go and let's have a day, which how we should probably all be. But it's,
yeah. Like I got 1,400 days left. Let's go.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
All right. That's a cool category. I'm very interested.
Yeah.
Go.
Okay. Conservatives threaten to withhold critical McCarthy support hours before.
Who cares? Who cares? Next topic. No one cares.
I think it's funny. I think it's funny because like he wants his whole identity has been, I want to be the speaker of the majority leader or whatever, and it's might not happen. So that's why I care. I just think it's funny, but that's it.
Okay. Russia, Ukraine attacks killed dozens of Russian soldier. Moscow says.
Hell yeah!
Not a bad way to start the new year.
Also,
the Russians.
Also, Moscow said dozens. Somebody else said hundreds.
Yes, I saw that too.
Yes,
I saw another one where it was like New Year not starting off great for Russia, and it was I was like,
yeah, 100%.
Did you also see? There was an article a couple of weeks ago that said like basically the country's crowdfunding their military engagement right now because like Russia doesn't have a lot of money, so supposedly.
Can I say? Yes. I don't know where we're at in this segment. I really enjoy the segment enough where
thank you. I'm trying to.
Yeah. My first thought with this is, why don't we start the podcast off with this and just see where it goes?
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, let's keep going. Yeah.
Okay.
Somebody write this down.
Potential bomb cyclone heading for the west.
I'm not in the
A
West.
bomb cyclone.
Yeah, like
I've
a
never
snowstorm.
heard anything called a bomb cyclone before,
Dude,
but it's,
the fear mongering that they do.
I
it
know,
on
but it
the-
sounds cool. It sounds cool.
fake news.
have
Hashtag
you-
fake news.
But I think California is about to get really shit on with
Bomb
melting snow
cycled.
and rain.
George,
So,
George, oh my God, George is in California. George, I hope you're listening to this part. Bomb cycle is headed your way.
So have we like Googled what this is exactly?
It's probably
it's
a freaking
just like
bad
a snow
storm.
melt. Like the other articles related to it was there's snow melting and there's going to be a major storm in California, and San Francisco is going to kind of get screwed here.
Okay. So according to Google, a bomb cyclone, also known as a bombogenesis, is a fast developing storm that occurs when atmospheric pressure drops at least 24 millibars over a 24-hour period.
Speaking
So-
of that, do you guys remember
Boom.
anything from, like science class at all? Like,
What about it?
Yes.
if you were,
Yes,
if
I
you were,
remember
like,
science
put into
class.
science class right now, like 8th grade science, and they were like, "Here's a test," I would
Okay.
be so screwed.
Can I tell you my main memory from any science class ever
Yep.
is freshman year. I had Miss Wagner for Earth Science, and I remember asking Megan Heilman out to homecoming, and she said no. So I remember that.
I'm sorry. That must have been hard.
but I will tell you, later that summer, she did instant message me on IM or AIM and said I should have gone with you. I think we would have had a good time. So I did get that.
Still doesn't hurt any less.
It does not. I still had to go with my brother and 4 of his friends. So
You probably had a better time.
100%. But I digress.
Okay, so actor Jeremy Renner hospitalized after snowplow accident.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
want
what
to
does
know
this
more
mean
about
for the
that.
Marvel movies?
Dude, that's
Right.
my immediate thought.
I
Hawkeye,
heard- What's that?
I don't care. I pass on this one.
I heard-
I liked him though. He was a good actor.
I mean, I care 'cause I
I
don't
mean,
like-
he's still around. I mean,
Yeah.
he's not dead, but I'm
He
just
is
saying. Yeah.
he is in serious but stable condition. That's what I read.
Yes. Well, which I just want to know more about the accident. Like, what were you doing to, you know?
It's snowing
like,
outside, dude.
it said like, what did it say? Like a snowplow accident or like? But it was in Nevada. Did you like is stuff just not adding up for you guys, or is that just me?
There's mountains. There's
Yeah, I don't know. I'm questioning it. Maybe
Yeah.
he really is Hawkeye.
He had
Think of that?
blunt chest trauma.
Ow. I feel like he was plowing and a rock fell or some shit. I don't know. Just maybe a rock slide type thing. I don't know.
He had two
All right,
two surgeries so far.
Eek.
I hope he's good. It
I
just
hope he's
doesn't-
good.
He's
I thought he was
critical
a
but
good
stable.
actor.
Critical but stable.
He really kind of threw the whole Jason Bourne franchise off, kind of went sideways when he took over there for one thing. And then
Is that why you don't care about this?
That was because Matt Damon didn't want to re up on Bourne.
but he came
Dude,
back. He
By the way, I just watched that movie this week. Coincidentally, didn't even know we were talking about this segment. That still plays. It's
it
it's a
holds up
hit, dude.
hard.
Yes.
dude.
It
That's one of
holds
those-
up so well.
if I see Jason, any of the Bourne franchise really on TNT or whatever, as I'm scrolling, I'll stop and put it on and just
That's
go.
what happened to me. I was like on
My-
HBO Max or something, and I was like, "Oh, Bourne, thank you very much." And then I started in sequential order.
My favorite social media thing right now is where Chuck
know what
E.
you're gonna
Shit,
say.
that's Jason Bourne.
does something.
Yes.
I love that one.
I
too.
love that. Yes.
I
That-
Google
that's-
I love that
every
one.
single time.
Holy shit,
Um,
that's Jason Bourne.
it's
All right,
just,
last
it's just some
one
fat
here.
dude falling down the stairs.
So good.
Well, it was like a fat kid parkouring like
Yeah.
off a building or some shit.
Uh,
Oh, that's
Winter
so
storm
good.
brings icy, heavy snow Monday night into Wednesday.
Nobody cares.
Where?
Looks like
Lorenzo cares.
Oklahoma. It looks like it might get up into the Northwest Ohio area.
We're in the middle of winter. Like,
it's gonna
is
be-
this
no,
really?
It's gonna be
That's,
it's gonna be 65 on
point.
Tuesday.
what about
That's not
Wednesday?
bad.
Oh, I'm just telling you, Tuesday. No,
I don't give a shit about Tuesday.
you know what? I'm a dad. I'll get the weather right now. Look, tonight, tomorrow, 59. Let's see what this is. This is riveting.
Has the
Riveting.
makings of that warm.
This is so
All right, here we go.
riveting.
Here we go. See,
Is this
some
nationwide weather? Is it?
no, we're just getting
It's-
some possible rain snow showers on
Okay. All
Thursday.
right.
We're good.
Last one, for real, last one, based on that as well. Southwest Airlines scrubs 160 flights after resuming normal schedule.
I don't care. I
not
never
sure
fly
what that
Southwest.
means, but
I heard
that
they're
was
going to
pretty
get
crazy.
federally investigated today on the news this morning for their system crashing, because if their system can just crash like that, that's kind of a red flag in my opinion. So
But I also heard like it's based on they do direct flights all over the place and not like, oh, you fly the Dallas to Detroit flight back and forth like a lot of airlines do. They'll do like the plane goes from Dallas to Detroit to Orlando to Chicago. So it's like if you have a delay in one of them, it screws up all those other flights happening.
but it wasn't, from what I understand, it was partly weather, but it was also the fact that their system is very old and antiquated, and it literally like went down. So the only reason that it's semi back up and running now after the first of the year is they said that they were going to be operating at like a third of capacity for the last week of the year, and that's what they were doing. And then they were able to, quote, reboot the system to get it working again for the first of the year. So I don't know. I don't know if it needs to be federally investigated,
I
but
saw one last story.
kind of
Just kind of
interesting, I
interested to hear your thoughts on this. Prince Harry, I want my father and brother back. I could give two shits about this.
No, I'm good.
Tyler looks like a prince. He's a royal guy. Bye.
no, I was just disappointed that you didn't mention that the ex Pope Benedict is in laying right now. As I know,
Yeah,
you're
I
pretty
saw that there was
religious,
a
Jim,
bunch of
so-
people. I didn't realize a pope had died. I thought it might have been an old story. So
Yeah.
Well, he
My
was
bad.
the
My bad.
the old Pope that literally just kind of was like, nah, I'm good, and then they then
but
hired
just
a new Pope.
just
So he's not the current
real
pope.
quick.
No, he
Okay.
was like,
I think it
don't
would have
even
been
know what
bigger
the
news if it
terminology
was the-
is, but he was
the
he was
current
the
Pope.
Pope. Yeah,
Okay.
he was very old school, and I think they wanted somebody new a couple years ago.
So the three dads, we actually care about the Idaho murder guy.
Yep.
Lorenzo likes the speaker stuff. I don't really give a shit. We're pro Ukraine, so fuck Russia. It sounds like for the
Yeah,
most part.
fuck Russia.
The bomb cyclone. We learned what it is. I hope everybody in California is safe. But they were
Yes.
kind of
Yeah,
to be
I care
fair,
about George, so I
California
hope
was
he's
kinda like-
safe.
California was kind of like throwing it in everyone's faces a couple weeks ago when it was freezing cold here, and they were taking pictures of like, oh, it's Christmas here, and I'm walking on the beach and it's 70-degree weather. So
Oh, so secretively, you want this bomb cyclone to go full bore?
no.
Okay.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. They little karma, maybe. You guys care about Jeremy Reiner? I don't really care. I hope he's well though. Winter storm, not going to affect you guys, and we're out on the royal family. So
Yeah. Nice. Good segment. Good segment. Now, if you
Nailed
can every week Google headlines and bring them to us, that'd be great.
dude,
I
yeah.
like the idea about let's start it like this. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll just
Yeah.
do rapid fire, and if we go off on tangents, we go off.
Yeah.
See where it goes.
Yeah. I do want to shout out the freshman girls basketball team. I'm currently assistant coaching. We are 7-0 now after a big win against St. Ursula. So tonight,
Ooh,
You guys
Yeah.
talk shit.
Jim's breaking up again.
yeah.
Jim, you're in the weeds.
All right, go ahead, Jim. What'd you say? I heard I saw something about talking shit or something.
Yeah, do you like pump up the girls to be like, listen, like try to get them amped as possible, or is it this like a not amped up situation?
No, not really. I mean, nothing really. I try to be super animated on the bench. I like that. I'm yelling, screaming, 3 yelling and ones, that kind of stuff. Hold it up.
throwing chairs on the floor.
That kind of stuff. Yeah. I did find myself.
Do you do the
No arrow.
I love that one.
I did find myself, so I'm so used to coaching football, high-fiving guys, hitting them on the top of their helmets, that kind of stuff. So I did that to one of the girls one time, like high-fived them, tapped them. I was like, and she just
You don't
looked at
want to be
me.
the butt tap. That's
No, it's all head taps. All head taps.
Whoa.
They know.
we'll get
They know.
canceled real
Yeah,
quick.
for sure. All right, guys. Dad jokes. You guys, I'm prepared, man. I'm ready. I got my book. If you guys aren't
Jesus, you got a book?
ready, my mom hooked me up, man. Yeah. There's all kinds of, they're like separated into categories too, like Christmas jokes, school jokes, jokes about relationships, movie jokes, all kinds of stuff, hospital
They have
jokes.
New Year's resolution jokes because I came prepared.
They don't. No.
Okay,
No.
I'll start.
All right, hit it.
What New Year's resolution should a basketball player never make? To travel more.
Why'd you say the way you said it is just that was perfect, Dad. Perfect dad delivery. You have your Penn State jersey on. I just realized that. Ty, you got one or you want me to go?
You go. Go
All
ahead.
right. Okay. Never go out with a tennis player. Love means nothing to them. Yeah, book. Yes. One for the book. Yes.
One for the book.
I've seen that one before, but it's good.
Oh, sure.
Okay.
No, we'll end on that. We'll end on that. I don't.
No,
have
you
anything
need
good
you need to get
I don't.
one.
I don't have anything good lined.
A lot
up.
of pressure.
And also, we're gonna go through like every dad joke if we do 3 a week for the rest of our lives.
No, you got it.
Oh,
Oh, hold on.
That's part of it.
Me.
Part of it is making fun of people when they suck. I am going to go through because
Where's the best place to keep your stairs? In a staircase. Thank you.
in a staircase. Okay. Whenever
you
we
should
do
have stopped at 3 years, Lorenzo.
I told you.
I was going to say that regardless if you had even a great joke.
yeah.
It wasn't, but I was going to say that.
I would like
Which
to,
it wasn't, by the way.
I would like to go through our episodes before we get too many and archive to see what jokes we've told. Because if we were famous and somebody would do that for us, then there'd be a whole Twitter account and Facebook page of someone just keeping track of all our dad jokes. But that's gonna have to be me. So I'm gonna go through them. But anyway, guys, next week.
Oh, I got one. I got a better one.
Okay.
I got a better one.
See, you're the one You're the one complaining. You're the one complaining that we're.
I'm
gonna run
ready.
out
I'm
of jokes.
sorry. I'm
And
sorry. I wasn't ready. Now I am.
Okay.
So my New Year's resolution is to procrastinate, but I'll start tomorrow.
I don't know.
Should have ended with Lorenzo.
All right. So next week is Monday. It's also the national championship game.
Yeah, let's
Are we
push it.
gonna-
Which means nothing to anyone that listens to this podcast because every team sucks.
Let's push it. He said. I was going to suggest just have it on in the background, but
Yeah, that's fine. We can do it.
Let's do that.
We'll
Yeah.
do it
Let's do
live.
We'll do it live. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do, yeah. You guys want to
he'll do one.
live cast?
He's going to
this?
do one. All right, guys. Anything else?
If any of our people message us during the national championship game,
We'll
say
give you
hello
a shout out.
on the podcast. That will
Yeah.
come out Wednesday or Friday,
What-
depending on what our production team.
Well,
can
this one's gonna drop Wednesday, January 3rd.
You mean it did drop?
Wait, 4th. Sorry, I was looking at the calendar wrong.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for being on this dad podcast with me as a co-hosts. Thanks to George as always. And that's it, man. We'll see see you next Wednesday. Question mark?
Question mark?
All right. This has been 3 Different Dads.
If it's not